Hey y'all, so the enemy does not want whoever's supposed to have his word to have his word. And I can't even really say it's like a word like that. It's just me talking about my story. This is the 100th attempt I tried to record this. I kind of want to go back and backtrack on the video I just did before this one and let you know that for some of us, the ship we're not supposed to abandon is our ship, right? Like our relationship, our business, our job, our whatever. He don't want you to abandon that ship, and you know it's your ship, no matter how bad it stresses you out, no matter how ugly it may sometimes get or look, no matter you trying to run away from it. Like, you know that is your ship. How do you know that's your ship? Because God's peace is on that ship. God's presence is on that ship. Okay. For the other group, I didn't know if I was sensing y'all, like y'all's hurt, frustration, confusion, whatever, because I'm extremely empathetic and I have low-key not been eating. So very sensitive right now. And then I knew I was feeling his heart for y'all though, because he was saying, don't abandon me. If you're wrong about the ship, do not abandon me. And I know what that was like for me when I was wrong. Like, it's different when you wrong versus when you wrong and you are in a season where your gifting and anointing has been unlocked, right? And then on top of that, if you publicly release words, okay? And so when that happened to me when I was wrong about the ship, I was trying to abandon God. But what he was saying to me was like, I am the ship. Like, and your right friendship, your right relationship is on his ship, okay? That's why we have to abandon some ships, because God's not on those, okay? His presence and his peace. And when you think about it, deep down, you be knowing. So I was the one who would watch the videos and like my spirit would kind of like, maybe that's what's going on, you know? But I was so desperate to be on any old ship. Okay, Holy Spirit. I was so desperate. That's how I fell into delusion. And I keep telling y'all that, right? Don't abandon him. Okay? Don't abandon him. So that was the first part that I wanted to talk about. The second thing he's had me on, I just know some days on YouTube, I'm like, oh, it's a whole hot mess over here. What is going on? Like, it's some days where it's like, ooh, everybody's so in tune. Like, yes, yes, yes. Confirmation, confirmation. And you can do that just by looking at the titles. Some days you're scrolling through like, what are y'all talking about? Like, what is not in tune, right? And on those days, I know it's usually like a lot of warfare, because the devil will use a prophetic word to get to you. And so in my season of delusion and confusion, the prophetic words, although released correctly, released for the people it was for, I'm under a delusion. And so they are just feeding the delusion furthermore. Megan, what do you mean by that? For example, in my counterfeit situation, he was ghosting me. He was blocking me randomly. But because I had received a word of restoration, right? Because I rolling through YouTube for words so frequently, so all of the time, even though I knew like, yeah, why he do that? I don't like that for me personally, because for some people, your kingdom spouse may have actually been doing all that. That's between you and God. I don't know. I can't tell you. You know if his peace and presence is over there. Only you know that. But because I was seeing words where it's like, oh, he might have did that, or, you know, oh, this, and you know, you got to have a lot of love and forgiveness and all that, and restoration and marriage and all that. I was just kind of like, yeah, like he'll stop, you know, we'll get together. He gonna come back and he gonna be like, girl, I only want you. It's not funny. I can laugh about it now. It wasn't funny back then. And so one of the things God had me reflecting on was just how truly sick, like, the devil do not care, y'all. He do not care. So let me give you a little bit more background. This particular counterfeit, y'all know how it's like mega fat CEO, baby. He was like mega fat CEO narcissist. And it really ain't a knock to him when I be telling y'all this. Like, some days I'll be like, you the villain in a story, you the villain in a story. Because I'm the villain in some stories, right? But it's more so just to speak to the spirit. And when I say from day one, that spirit was trying to get to me through him. From day one, I was like, who sent you? This is either the devil or God. Like, I knew that, and I shouldn't have ignored that. I shouldn't have ignored a lot of those first few days feelings like, ugh. But because I was so desperate for just any old shit, because I just wanted a husband, because I didn't even know who. There's a difference between wanting a husband and wanting your husband. Even if you don't know who the man is, you know his spirit, okay? I don't know who needed that. Same with your wife, okay? But that spirit was out to get me from day one, and I fell for it because of the place I was at spiritually. The only person to include my kingdom spouse, who I love tremendously, like, oh my God. This particular counterfeit is the only man to ever talk to me about getting married the way that he did. Like, yeah, we're going to get married. Where we going to live? Like, all this. Not only that, like, talked about having kids. I didn't name the kids, you know, and it's crazy because God had started speaking to me about my children around this time. And I remember I had a vision and I was like, who's the daddy? Like, because he was not showing me my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, that should have been a sign, right? No. And so all that happened. He ghosted. He blocked me. I'm still listening to these words. I'm about to get a Christmas miracle. And it's really, like I said, I can act like this now, but it was not funny back then, okay? And so I'm not trying to play nobody pain or nothing, because this was once my pain. I also had already dreamt that he was watching my YouTube channel, like, a lot. Like, the angels had shown me. And so I knew he knew, like, what word I was believing in, what I was believing for. And so even when I would get those random little DMs or something, you know, it was like, oh, still in there. Oh, he still loved me. They said the phone was going to ring. They said, you know, like, because, okay. And so even after that, when I was, like, good on him, like, y'all know what I'm saying. Like, I was like, no, I'm straight. Like, I just don't think this is it. And I want to talk to y'all more about what really went on in my 2021. Because a part of me feel like I got to release that while I'm still single, because to talk about some of that in a whole relationship, that might just be a little too much. Okay. Marriage. I'm in a whole marriage. And so in 2021, and this is another, like, I was like, am I supposed to give them tips? I wasn't even over the previous ex. So how's that? You know somebody your husband and you're not even over the other exes. Like, even if you're not over the person, you're not over the situation. I don't know who needed that, because me and God was talking about that today too. And so when things ended with that counterfeit, I went back to the other one. Like, I'm just, and that's how truly narcissistic it was. If you made me miss a different type of narcissist, because, you know, you got like the cheated narcissist, like, and it's your fault I cheated. Yeah, okay, whatever. I'd rather have dealt with that than the type of emotional abuse I went through in 2021, okay? Much rather had just got cheated on and then blamed on me than what I was going through. Because selling me a dream, them sick mind games, the point I was making is I went back to the other one, okay? And, you know, them soul ties, like, they can feel that. And so when that was happening, when I was like, I'm good, and I started dating other people, he felt it. He popped back up. And it was you know, we supposed to be engaged. Engaged? You still think about marrying me? Talk about confused, okay? It's this meme on Instagram that says, I knew I was toxic when I missed all 3 of my exes at once. This is a point. I know he's trying to make me talk about this tonight. Because, okay, let me go ahead and tell y'all. Went back to the first ex, the super narcissistic ex, just playing straight mind games. But God had already gave me the dream, and, like, was me and my, who I believe is my kingdom spouse, we had started communicating again. Talk about confused. So me being me, I was like, forget the whole restoration word, because y'all doing the most. Like, which ex is it, God? You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got time for this. I started dating people I had never dated in my life. I was so sick of the restoration word. Do y'all get what I'm saying? And it was in that, okay, I had to sit down to deal with the situations, the past relationships, right? Like truly being over them without having to hop into something else to get over them. You get what I'm saying? Because how do you really know? How do you know where your heart is at and stuff? Like if you're not over the past, you haven't dealt with it and stuff, you haven't got the closure you need between you and God. Y'all get what I'm saying? So that was a telltale sign for me. So how many tips? Did I already say don't sleep with them? I don't know if I said that, but definitely practice celibacy. Don't hop in no relationship. And when you know you ain't over some of the other ones. How am I out here receiving a word for marriage and I'm not over the other ex? Because as soon as the one that I thought was going to miraculously pop up at my doorstep didn't, I was back over there with the other one. And I was like, oh, we still got some unresolved issues, sir. Like, we might need to talk about this stuff, okay? And again, I tried to let go of the whole restoration words altogether. Like, I started dating, like, strangers. Not only that, because we hit on the craziness of YouTube and how the devil will use a prophetic word. When I finally did get to the place where it was like, oh, this is what you're saying. I wasn't on social media and I was not on YouTube and I was not posting to YouTube, okay? Well, I was back on social media I was fasting, but I was back on social media when he told me, but I wasn't doing prophetic words or listening to prophetic words. I had stopped. I was off of social media from January to April. I actually didn't get back on social media until God had did what he was doing. When I say a smooth redirect, like he was like, yeah, over there. And I was like, what? Like that was me. So my advice is to receive the word for yourself from God, okay? And the only thing YouTube does is confirm what God has already told you, okay? Because I was not spiritually mature enough to be ingesting all those prophetic words back then, right? I just wasn't, because they were shaping what I thought was supposed to happen instead of God telling me himself, showing me himself. Like, actually, this is what I'm saying. And everybody's situation is different. Everybody's relationships is different. Like, I caught a word when I started back listening to them that was so specific. I was like, God, did she dream my life? That's the type of confirmation you should be having, okay? Confirmation. That's all a prophetic word is supposed to do. Now, resonate with your spirit. That's how I knew I had a restoration word altogether, even though I tried to run off on that. I will never forget the day I heard Kimmy, but at this time it was right after my counterfeit boyfriend had broke up with me, right? And so that's how I ended up clicking on her video. The way I fell out in my bathroom. And I knew even then, like, wow, that was a very strong reaction. You know, like, what was that about? Surprise, shawty. God was really out here like, I received the word. It was just for the wrong man, okay? 2 of them. Because when I went back to the other ex, I was like, oh, maybe it's you, you know? No. Again, it's going to be confirmed between the both of y'all. Even when the reconnection has started back. Like, I cannot. It's so much I want to tell y'all. Like, but I made this video because I was deceived. And I don't want y'all out here like how I was. I simply do not. Like, not even on no, like I saw somebody comment and it made me laugh because I was like, what in the me? Okay, so let's go back to the celibacy and stuff. Like, sometimes the dudes, I ain't gonna say y'all don't know how to like do it, but sometimes, and it ain't just dudes, depending on whichever one of y'all is like more tapped in at the moment, like, I'm literally only spending time with God. Like, I ain't out here fooling with nobody. I'm not doing anything. And one of the times we were able to see each other, I remember I was so ready to like be back by myself, and that was so new to me because I was like, what is that? And I was like, I miss my man. Like, God, I missed him. I missed talking to him. And I was like, ooh, not my husband in the way. And that's how it should be. But when I was in those counterfeit relationships, obsessed. That's the word. Obsessed. And it should not be like that. I'm obsessed with my kingdom spouse in a healthy way after God. Don't feel like I'm going to lose him because I'm not sleeping with him. That's another good sign. Like, whenever I fasted or was like, maybe we shouldn't do that in previous relationships, it was always a problem. Always a problem. Always a problem. Okay? I don't have those issues over here. Where are you going? Nowhere. Because what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. Not even that I'm trying to be funny and like, haha, you can't get none. Not like that. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying you don't have to worry about any of that. Or if I'm too into my purpose, the one God made for you, they're going to push you even further into it, okay? Sometimes I'll be like, I wish you didn't see my assignments because let me breathe. Let me live. I need a break. Like, no, you supposed to be pushing our content, helping the world, right? And my counterfeit used to play like he cared about that. He didn't care. He did not care. It's pretend. The mask always got to fall off. Talked about all this stuff and it was fake. God's presence there. Is his peace there? Are you scared to ask him that? Have you prayed like, hey, if it's not for me, remove it? That's a good sign. Because if you scared to pray that, okay, God, do you really want me here? And truly sit and wait for an answer? All of that. I wasn't doing none of that with them counterfeits. None of it. Like, I wasn't even posting videos unless it was broken up. I think that's a telltale sign. Like, so many telltale signs, right? So this is what I'm thinking. If y'all want me to talk about more stuff specifically, or y'all got any questions, I'm going to work with God and I'm going to make a video about it, or we're going to plan to go live at some point. I got to tell y'all about that dream that he had shown me about the around a certain subscriber count. I got to tell y'all about that. But I kind of just, sometimes I can get a little random. I'm sorry. Also, I don't know. I just wanted to know full surrender. I just came to a full surrender the end of September. And he was whispering to me about my situation. I was like, now, wait a minute. I know you said this man is my man. What are you doing? God, what's happening? He made me lay him at the altar. Put it at the altar. He was not playing with me. Okay? And after I did it, snotting and all, I talk about this in the book. He was like, all right, now that I can trust you. And I was like, God. Like, so even when I do get beat up with doubt and stuff sometimes, the way God has confirmed, like YouTube could not exist. Not a single word from spoken out of another person's mouth. And God has confirmed it to me himself what he is doing. Okay? No matter what.